A great little plant that deserves a lot more play than it gets is sheep sorrel. I see wood sorrel getting a lot of attention, but sheep sorrel is so much better. You get a lot more bang for your buck. Not a lot of chefs and foragers use this plant, but there are a few of note. So Michel, one of the most iconic French chefs to use wild food, you can see on the cover of his book, Essential Cuisine, sheep sorrel is right there on the cover. If you don't know who Brass is, look him up. He's incredible. Here's some sheep sorrel that's growing in not my garden. My garden is kind of all over the place. This is by my driveway because sheep sorrel likes sandy soil. Any place with acidic, sandy soil, sheep sorrel will probably grow pretty well. It's invasive. You can harvest as much as you want. And it looks like dock because they're both in the genus Rumex. So dock is a lot taller. One thing that's really noticeable with sheep sorrel is the flares at the base of the leaves. This gives it kind of an arrowhead shape. It's a really easy plant to identify. Here it's making seeds, but I'll pull one up and show you just so you can see. So sometimes the leaves might be cup-shaped on the stalk, or they might be arrowhead shaped, but it's a really easy plant to identify. Just does not make as many seeds as dock and does not get as tall, but looks very similar. If you pick wild blueberries, sheep sorrel loves to grow in places that are good for wild blueberries. So know that. If you go pick blueberries, keep your eyes open. So sheep sorrel, the basil leaves are going to be the most tender, but the plant is easiest to find when it's taller and making seeds, and you can harvest the leaves anytime. So when I see a big patch of it, I'll just clip the whole plants with the scissors. You're not going to hurt them, and it wouldn't matter either way. And if they're taller, you want to make sure to pick off any tough stems because those can be a little bit chewy. As long as you get leaves that are nice and tender like that, with any part of the tough stem removed, you won't have any issues at all. Then we're going to wash the leaves after we clip them off the plant. This is to clean them. They should be very clean, even though they grow low to the ground, but mostly this is to extend their shelf life. So I have some sheep sorrel in my fridge that's almost 2 weeks old, and it's still perfectly good. Change the towel once in a while and just put them in the fridge, and they will last for you. Okay, sheep sorrel is a wonderful garnish. I'll walk you through just a quick little recipe. This is from my friend, Chef Iliana Regan, who owns the Milkweed Inn up on the Upper Peninsula. Thanks to my buddy Jesse Ressler for capturing that image. That's her sheep sorrel salad with whitefish and ramp grabiche. Here's a little adaptation you can make at home. You can just take some herbs. I have some chives and whole leaves of sheep sorrel, a couple sprigs of dill. Elena used fresh oregano in hers too. So this is a good thing to do with the plant if you only have a few plants like I had along my driveway there, because you only need a few for a garnish. And basically it's super simple. A tiny bit of lemon juice, a tiny bit of oil, a tiny bit of salt. I'll put some lovage sauce on the plate. There's some lake trout that Elena gave me, some burdock flower stalks that I've prepared, like artichokes, and then we just put the little salad on top of the fish. And that's a great way to use the plant if you only have a few leaves. Okay, now here is for a really good one. The most famous sorrel recipe I know is sorrel sauce Troisgros, or salmon with sorrel sauce by the Troisgros brothers. It's a cornerstone recipe of French Nouvelle cuisine of the 60s and 70s, but it is still worth trying. It was a classic recipe all across France for a reason. Basically, this is another adaptation. I'm trying to make it easier for you to make at home. So we're making kind of a bush league beurre blanc. We're going to take a shallot and a bay leaf and a clove of garlic, a couple peppercorns, and we're going to simmer that in chicken stock, or fish stock would be more traditional, with some wine. And then you can see I'm just picking any tough stems off the sheep sorrel leaves. And what's really cool about this plant is that it's an herb, but it's an herb that you're going to get a lot of mileage out of it by cooking it. So we're going to take the solids out of the pan and just leave us with that little reduction. Then we're going to add some cream. About half a cup is all you need for 2 to 4 people, pinch of salt. And then we add all of the leaves, a little bit of butter just to thicken it up, add all the leaves, and we cook it. And this basically becomes, this is so cool, it's like the ultimate lemon sauce. Because the leaves are going to cook down. So just imagine if creamed spinach was also a lemon condiment. It's a really cool texture, really cool flavor, a little bit of fresh lemon zest there, a little bit of fresh lemon juice just to finish. And this is just a fantastic thing to make. A really nice way to kind of honor this plant. And the sauce was so good. I think I ate about half of it before it went onto the plate, and then I made another batch. I caught myself eating it out of the jar last night. It's so good. There it is with a little bit of the lake trout that Elena gave me, a little fresh sheep sorrel and some chives on top. Just a fun way to use it. It's also really good in potato soup. I hope I've inspired you to maybe think differently about sheep sorrel and try a few things with it. If you have any questions about the recipes or anything, leave a comment or let me know. Thanks for watching.